I'm Jim Martin, and welcome to one of the most demanding race circuits in the entire world, Mosport Park, where we're just about set for the start of the third round in the chase for the Motorola Cup. And with me is former street stock champion and teacher at the Skip Barber Racing School, Professor Terry Airwood. Terry, tell us about this Mosport circuit.
One of my favorite tracks on the circuit. It's a very demanding 2.5-mile track, very rough. Here we have downhill, off camber. Actually, we run fifth gear trying to get good gas mileage in this particular corner, but it's very bumpy. You make a teeny mistake here going uphill. We lost a car here one night a couple of years ago just by making a 1-foot mistake, dropped the wheel off, turned it over the tire wall. Big, long uphill, really robs the horsepower. It's really tricky to try to get behind a fast car to get some good drafting up this long, painful straightaway. Very, very tight corner coming onto the front straight. It's very hard to get power down because it's off camber and very slick at the outside edge.
Car Firebird train here. We've been watching over his shoulder from time to time, but he's got the best seat in the house.
He does. He knows how to, he knows his track. He can probably do it blindfolded, and he's just trying to nurse the car. And if they make a mistake, he's right there.
Now we get a little bit further back in the field, and we see that they're not the only battle. We got a couple of cars off down in the bottom of turn number 2, as a matter of fact, and one in the tire wall hard.
63 car.
Gary Stanka flips the car over when he comes into contact with that tire wall down there. Tire wall seemed to have saved a lot of major damage, but boy, that car is a little wrinkly.
Yeah, it's going to spend a day or two at Mako, it looks like, but he definitely has come down the hill. I think he had help. We'll see this in a replay in a few minutes. He's on the outside. RX-7 tucks inside him. RX-7 gets loose and uses him as sort of a cushion, if you will, and here goes the Acura into the tire wall. Boom, 1, 2, 3, lands on his feet. We see that a lot. That's a good part about a tire wall, even though it might bounce you over. The yellow car. Back up front in sports.
What a tremendous battle as we watch him come up this straightaway. This is where horsepower is really going to come into play, and boy, that Lexus has a ton.
Lots of horsepower, big old heavy car, but on his long straightaways, this is his forte here. It comes right around the BMW.
Chuck Goldsborough's task now is to haul that big Lexus down just a touch as they bend the cars into the big right-hander turn number 8 here. The 70 BMW hot on his heels. They have to drive to the inside of the Mazda Miata, the compact class car. Drives up 2 wheels on the dirt there, but manages to get it done. Crosses the start-finish line. The first time the Lexus has led a lap in the sport class.
But notice as this happens, the overall leader has caught this pack, so they're having a battle of their own. Here come the big guys.
Hey, a great job as far as the sport class is concerned to watch Mike Johnson in the BMW just a minute ago move over, let the race leader come by. Chuck Goldsborough points him by to the inside as well. Hey, even though they're having a great battle amongst themselves, they're still aware in the mirrors that there's another race going on as far as Grand Sport and giving the race leaders a lot of room too.
And as we know, 4 races going on in one time, but it's real easy to get tied up and locked up in your battle. Here comes Barassa back on the inside. This is a hard-fought battle for second place in sports. Barassa back in.
All right, and the finish is just around the corner. While we finish our cleanup under full course yellow, we'll be back with the restart in a minute. Let's take a look now, though, at our STP leaderboard. At lap number 46 in the Grand Sport class, it was the Hayner and Heinrichs 33 Firebird. Welcome back to round number 3 at Mosport International Raceway of the Motorola Cup. We are still under full course. Down to 2 abreast as they actually enter the corner, and here comes the race leader.
Race leader's in the back of the pack because with all the pit stops, even though the pace car came out in front of the leader, he stopped to get gas, and now that things just sort of get all jumbled up with the compact touring and sports cars with the race leader in the middle of the pack coming through.
Boy, and he's got a real challenge on his hands as he weaves to one side and then the other. He's got a real challenge trying to pick his way through this crowd that is now all bunched up in front of him.
You can have a lot of fun with this. It can be frustrating because you get held up occasionally, but it really challenges you and your machine to work traffic without hurting a car, without hitting somebody. Engine all the way out back of this Pontiac Firebird.
It's going to be a noisy car to drive for the balance of the race, but it is back in the race, and a Mazda Miata exits the race course down at the bottom of turn number 2, and this is exactly how it's supposed to be done.
Boy, this is picture perfect here. Get off in that grass at high speeds. It's very easy to go at tire wall like a magnet, but he does a beautiful job of catching this car, going to come back up on the track. It's safe.
Great job. We'll be back with more racing from Mosport in a minute.
Number 71, Bob Endicott. This is our touring leader. He's really stretched some out now. This was our leader from Atlanta, our winner from Atlanta, Endicott and Schwartzside. I can't tell you how many miles these guys put on a race car.
And they really do a great job. These guys are probably have more driving experience than any 3 or 4 drivers put together out in the racetrack. They have a great time out there, and it's a passion. It really is.
They do have a great time with it. Very competitive. They seldom bring a car home all beat up.
A real class act on and off the racetrack as we watch the touring class Acura chasing down the sport class Lexus, which is currently running third in the sport class out on the racer.
I'm reeling him in a little bit, lap after lap. There's plenty of time left.
The gap still remains about 4 seconds, but both of these drivers are pressing as hard as they dare on cars that have really paid the price over the last 2 hours and 50-odd minutes as Doug Oates slides the car through turn number 5, but manages to hold on.
This guy using his fabulous car control because he needs it right now. He's overheated those tires. He's trying to keep Peter back there. I'm not sure the car's, like I say, singing on all 8, and he is driving his butt off.
Boy, he's got a whole bunch of back markers in between himself and that 75 Toyota. And all of those cars, the slower, the compact machinery, all over the racetrack in front of him. Peter Cunningham's really going to have a chore to try to get by. Puts 2 wheels in the dirt. Says, I don't care whether you give me room. I'm coming through, guys. And he might have surprised some Hyundai drivers a minute ago.
That's why I love watching Peter Cunningham. He'll put the race car anywhere he needs to. Unfortunately, against us a couple times he's done that too. But Peter is going
to... Teammate right beside him. Peter Cunningham stops out at the far end of the circuit, commiserates with Doug Goad. Doug Goad says, well done, it's all yours, pal. It's got to hurt, though. The race winner, Peter Cunningham, coming back up the front straightaway to join us in winter circuit.